Hello! Oh, my voice is a little better than it's been the last 2 weeks. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Dr. Stephanie Fine, and this is your Ounce of Prevention on Thursday at 12:30. It's because that's what we do on Thursday at 12:30 is we meet up here. And we talk about the Ounce of Prevention, which is something you can get in your inbox every Thursday morning. You just go to www.stephaniefinemd.com and you sign up right there. And pop, you get it. And then here we talk about, like in depth, any questions, anything. We talk about a little bit more than what you see in the blog. Fun. And of course, all this is in service of weight loss maintenance. Losing weight and then keeping it off with the focus of keeping it off because OMG, isn't that the thing? I mean, anyone could lose weight anyway. Like when you have a cold, you can lose weight. But that's not the way we do it. And not only that, keeping it off then is the issue, right? So that's what's important. I want to check and make sure. Oh, good. Okay, just wanted to make sure this was working. It was a little funkier this morning. Okay, so this whole topic makes me giggle. And it's so important. So I told the story about having French fries, which I do adore. And I made an excellent plan for how to fit the French fries into my day and week's calorie count, right? So I was out and I wanted to enjoy French fries at this particular place because they're amazing. But I did not want the boatload of fries that they literally give you like a million fries. And let me tell you something, if I was by myself with my fries and they gave me a boatload, I would have eaten a boatload. I know this about myself, and we talk about this a lot, about planning and environmental control. And at a restaurant, you have a micro-environmental control, right? You can control the area right near you. What you order, what's on the table, all that sort of thing. Splitting with a friend, there's lots of stuff in restaurants that you can do. Well, I know this because I have had to do it myself. So I ask the waiter to not bring me the normal size, and just I'm happy to pay for the whole thing, but I do not want the whole thing because I know I will eat all the fries that I'm given. So I get a half portion. But that's not the whole story. Although that's even a good part of the story is how to do that. But when the fries came, the smaller portion, my brain, the same one I used to plan all this and ask the waiter to, bring the appropriate size, my brain, when he brought it, said to myself, oh no, that's such a small amount of fries. Now, I was shocked. I mean, it had been 5 minutes since I had the entire conversation in my own mind and then with the waiter about the fries. And then my brain has the audacity to say, that's not enough fries. I mean, now, here's the point about this. A lot of times when we think if we think it, then we have to act on it. So if I thought that my brain was telling me, oh, you know what? That's not enough fries. You know what? There was a mistake. Like, I was wrong. You really should bring it all. I am paying for it. You know what? You need to bring the rest. And I could have said, oh, excuse me. You know what? Please bring the rest. But what I have learned is that my brain just thinks things. It just kicks out thoughts. And I can be the evaluator of those thoughts. And I can say, which is what I did, in my mind to that little voice, oh, funny, silly little thing. And then I just ate the smaller portion of fries. But there was absolutely a time when I would have heard that voice thinking it had authority and thinking it had some knowledge that I didn't have. I mean, I hope you can relate to some of this. I mean, that we have the voices in our mind and we have to figure out which one is the one to listen to and which one isn't. And I'll tell you right now, for absolute certainty, the one that said it's not enough fries was for sure not the right one to listen to. For sure. My prefrontal cortex, the more advanced part of my brain, was able to figure out and make a plan and execute it. And then the comfort part of my brain, the part of my brain that's very concerned with me being comfortable and not a lot of change and do things that are easy and that feel good right in the moment, that part of my brain thought more fries was a good idea. So losing weight and keeping it off requires that we make it clear to ourselves which voices we're going to listen to. And the ones, you'll know it because when you make a plan ahead of time, that's the voice to listen to. Because you're doing that with all your faculties, right? You're saying, okay, I'm not hungry, I'm not in this situation, I'm going to lunch today, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z because at dinner today, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z, and I want to make sure to stay in a place where I am comfortable with the number of calories so I don't gain weight. And then when lunch comes and your brain starts going, oh, but I didn't know they had cheesecake, that's when we say, oh, sweet thing, because we're always nice to that little voice because it doesn't know any better. It's actually trying to help you, which is sweet in its own way, but it's not helpful to us. So that's when we pat the little voice on the head and say, oh, don't you worry, we're going to do something fun later. Or this is actually going to be plenty, you'll see. And we have that dialogue in our heads if and when we can. So one of the ways that I know to do this, journaling is a fantastic way, but truly meditation has made a difference in how I can stop to see the thoughts as they come and evaluate them. So I highly, highly, highly recommend a daily meditation practice. And I've talked about meditation before, and I'm sure I'm going to be talking about it some more because it is amazing what a difference it makes. It seems crazy that trying for 5 or 10 minutes a day to concentrate only on your breath would make such a big difference in your life. But I'm here to tell you that it does, because that slowing down of the brain that I saw the little voice say, oh, that's not enough fries, that I could then say to it, oh, no, but it is. That whole interchange was possible because of the meditation. The practicing of seeing thoughts come and realizing they're not important in the moment. So here's the beauty of the meditation. When you are meditating, literally your only job is to concentrate on your breath. There's a million types of meditation. I do the most basic, easiest, which is to literally concentrate on your breath going in and out. In, out. That's all you do. So this is your job for 5 minutes. Okay? Now, here's the beauty of it. 5 minutes, you can say, I am doing something for 5 minutes. It could be I'm going for a run for 5 minutes. I am going to clean up this drawer for 5 minutes. Something in 5 minutes where you've dedicated the 5 minutes. So it's a good idea. You've decided it's a good idea. 5 minutes, that's what you're doing. 5 minutes. What's crazy about meditating for 5 minutes is that your brain will really struggle with you. It'll say, oh no, well, you're just sitting here. Why don't we just think about this? Or, you're not doing anything. Why don't we, let's think about this terrible thing that happened the other day. But your job is, for 5 minutes, you've decided to follow the breath. That's what you're doing for 5 minutes. And I cannot express what a benefit it gives you to be able to focus for 5 minutes, to be able to see the thoughts come and then say, oh no, I'm focusing on my breath for 5 minutes. That's the same dialogue I had about the French fries. When my brain starts to want to think about things, but I said, no, I'm actually meditating for 5 minutes. It's the same dialogue. More French fries? No, thank you. Want to think about your to-do list? No, thank you. And, they talk about meditation being a practice, and that's exactly what it is. Practice. You are literally practicing. There's no destination, right? There's no place to be and go. It is practicing. Now, let me tell you, and I'm sure you're thinking about, I'm hoping you're thinking about this. What do you think maintenance of weight loss is? It's a practice, right? There's no destination. You're already at the destination. You're at the weight you're happy with. So maintenance of weight loss is about that self-correcting, constant self-correction. It's the exact same thing with meditation. It's like you do in 5 minutes what you're doing for a lifetime with food. And the good news about meditation and weight loss maintenance is that it gets easier. You practice and practice and practice. And yes, you have to continue to practice because it's the process, not the outcome. But it gets so much easier over time. The practice really accumulates and adds up. And this whole idea, I just giggle to myself. I love this concept of that the brain thinks. I really, really, really used to be invested in every single one of my thoughts. Really, I really believed that they each had importance. If I thought them, they must have deep meaning. They don't. I mean, not every, obviously there's thoughts that do have great meaning. And if you have things to do and you use your brain for that, it's amazing. And the executive functioning, the planning is phenomenal. And we use that a lot in maintaining weight loss. Planning our meals, planning our week. Very important, a crucial, important part of being able to maintain your weight loss. But so is identifying the thoughts that do not serve you. And there are plenty. And let me tell you something. The time to be aware of the thoughts is when you're tired, stressed out, end of the day. That's when that more primitive brain kicks in and just wants you to feel good. So that's when we have to be sort of most on our game in watching the thoughts. That just because you do feel tired and then your brain says, oh, you're tired, sweetie. You know what? Why don't you just pick up some fast food? It kind of makes sense because you're tired. But you've already planned something different. Now, here's the other thing. If you're normally tired at the end of the day, then that has to go in your planning so that the dinner should be ready at home in some capacity. Because you already know you're going to be tired. Now that's what the planning is, right? You're planning ahead of time. You know you're going to be tired. This is it. If you don't plan, then that voice wins and you drive through. So this is my lesson learned recently from the French fries. Just because you think it doesn't make it true. And the other piece that's really important that I did not put in the blog is this idea of being kind to that voice. It's not its fault. It's not trying to be mean to you. It's actually trying to be nice to you. But it's misguided. And so we're just saying, oh, thank you for the thought. Thanks for the information. And ignore it, just like you do in meditation. So I put a link in the blog, but you could go to www.headspace.com. It's a great place to start if you're starting a meditation practice. And that's what I got for you today. Our brain is so important in maintaining weight loss. It is the most important thing. The food is secondary because we need the planning with our mind in order to understand about the food and all the rest of it. So our brain is the most important thing to use. And this is all part of it. So I love you. I'm so happy you're here with me, and I am happy to be back and healthier, and I will see you next week. Bye.